weaknesses and y'all go with it. It's deep cold blood. I try to tell people, man, the oppressor sins against the life, but the oppressed got the same sin because you let them do that. We got to really grasp. We think you got the oppressed and then the oppressor. And the oppressed is bad. The oppressor is bad. And the oppressed are just, the innocent victims. No, ain't no such thing. The oppressor only exists because the oppressed allow it. So the true sin lies on the oppressed. Y'all look at the slave master and then the slave. And y'all say, oh, the slave master's an evil man. But y'all never look at the slave and say, man, they allowed that. They had more power than the slave master. It was more of them, yet they allowed it. So whose sin is truly bigger? The slave master or the slave? Because the slave master only exists because of the slave. How you going to be a slave master if none of your slaves don't cooperate? Then you not a slave master. You just a nigga in chaos. So this is my point. The slave's sin is greater than the slave master. Because they make the slave master who he is. Y'all make the oppressor who he is. It's a deep cold-blooded thing. I don't think y'all really grasp. Y'all live in the cities and things like this, and you a citizen or a slave, whatever you want to call it. And y'all make this whole system a reality by going with it. So you look at the oppressor and say, oh, the government's oppressing us, but you go with it. So you are the true oppressor. But it's worse because you're the oppressor of your own self. It's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. When the Caucasians came here, there was no slave masters and slaves here. It was just people. And then somehow, the Caucasians became slave masters, not just them, but others as well. We won't even make this a race thing. We just keep it on a balance. Some became slave masters, and others became slaves. Now, who you think got the biggest sin? When I say sin, I'm just talking about a great wrong thing. Something that's just wrong, but worse than wrong. So I'm just using the words y'all familiar with. But whose sin you think was greater? The slave masters or the slaves? And a lot of y'all gonna say the slave masters. But it was the slaves, because they allowed it. It all starts with them. It all starts with the slave. I can try to make you a slave, but you have to accept it for it to then be a thing. So you have to grasp. It's deep cold-blooded. The oppressed are the problem. We think the oppressors are the problem. It's y'all, the oppressed. Y'all are the problem. For yourselves and others, because y'all make this reality real. The slaves is who the slave master stands on. They allow it. They make it a reality. You got to start looking at life in reality. I try to drag y'all along through things and stop working because you're a slave, and it's deep. Y'all use things to just point fingers and get upset. Oh, the government, fuck the government. No, that's why I say you need balance. You can't be biased. At some point in life, you got to look at yourself. Fuck the government. No, fuck yourself. Because you go to work. You can't go to work then say fuck the government. You can't be a good slave then say fuck the slave master. You are the reason he exists. So what are you talking about? So this is what I mean. You got to deal with self. Everybody's all over the place. The mouth says one thing, but the body does the other. Fuck the system. You ain't going to work though. Being a slave, opening up your business. This all benefits the oppressor. But because of your concerns of self, you overlook the true point, which is the oppressed is the problem, not the oppressor. The oppressed make the oppressors. Grasp. The followers make the leaders. Grasp. Y'all select the president. Y'all go with these things. Y'all are the true problem. The followers the problem, not the leaders. The leaders are just made. That's how cold-blooded life truly is. I didn't want to confuse anyone. That's why I didn't even want to really indulge into this part. But life is a big, deep, tangled web. And you got to truly be balanced to see. The followers are truly the leaders. You got one leader and a bunch of followers. Now that one leader is a slave to all those followers. They're his burden, they're his worries, they're everything. It's a slave to them. It's just like the famous guy. He got to tap dance and be how his following wants him to be. In a nutshell, so to say. You can't just do what you want, lest they won't follow you no more. So the followers want their leader to be how they want them to be. It's a control thing. It's deep. Fans want their star to be how they want them to be. It's a control thing. It's a deep thing. When you dealing with leaders and followers, oppressors and the oppressed, don't look at the oppressor, don't look at the leader, but you look at the following and the oppressed, because they where the problem starts. They don't want to lead themselves, so they put their burdens on another. And because man is so desperate to rule over others, he accepts that sad fate in ignorance. This is how life truly works. All the lost spirits, y'all, people, that don't want to take responsibility for self, y'all look for somebody to lead y'all. And then when y'all find a good one, y'all raise him up and say, he a great leader. I don't know nothing. He knows it all, and he probably knows more than you. But y'all are still the ones in control, and y'all raise up y'all great leaders. And it's a deep, cold-blooded thing, because they step into the shoes in ignorance, not realizing. It's a deep, cold-blooded thing. Think of any famous teacher you could think of in today's times that got a lot of followers. Brother Polite, Young Pharaoh, whoever you could think of. Now I want you to think back in their beginnings before they had a large following. They was a part of the following. And Brother Polite followed Dr. Malachi York. And Young Pharaoh basically followed Sonetta and their channel and all that. So you see my point? And amongst the following, they're raised up as the leaders. And they step into the shoes. In ignorance, not realizing. The people are doing this. They're known because of the people. The people, the followers, really are the... Y'all control this whole thing. It's like I said. Y'all don't want to deal with self, so y'all raise up leaders. And then when they can't deal with y'all all, because no one person can deal with the world's problems, everyone has to deal with self and take responsibility of self. But men love to rule, so they'll say, I'll try. And when they can't succeed at what is not supposed to be succeeded at, then y'all crucify them. Say, you a fake and phony, and I'm the wise servant. Y'all see how I move? I ain't your leader. Get the fuck away from me. You'll get away from me. Because I know how this works. The duality, baby. It's a simple thing. It's called balance. And people don't want to balance themselves out. They don't want to take a time to self and deal with self and the ugliness of self. So they say, no, I'm not my problem. I'm the leader's problem. This is why y'all get boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives. Because you don't want to deal with yourself. So you say, I need help dealing with myself. I need to put some of myself on someone else because I don't got time for me. And I know y'all laughing. Y'all like the wise servant is a goddamn fool. He funny. But in the midst of me and my lovely, beautiful personality, and those of you that can appreciate it and laugh and do your system some good and smiling and laughing, don't get lost in that. I'm very serious on my teachings. None of this is a joke that I teach, and I'm truly not playing with anyone out there that views me. So I need y'all to get a little more serious and stop acting goofy and playing. If you want to follow all the trends and this silly thing and that silly thing, and you know that I don't teach that, you don't need to be on my channel. It's a deep thing. I'm real with this. This is my job in life. And it's my own. That's what makes it so important to me. It's my own. I take this wisdom and knowledge serious. Keeps me from having to break slave laws or be a working slave like many of you are. And like I said, it's my own. And I take it serious. And a lot of y'all joke and play and y'all like to compete in life with nothing to compete with. And I don't feel like playing with anyone. If you don't have no balance, and you've been watching me all this time and you haven't paid your minimum dues that I asked, you can go along. It's no point to be here. If you went to all this fake African trending talking stuff, you can move along from my channel. There's no problem, but move along. Because you're not here to grasp truth and purity. You trying to flip-flop with this thing and that thing, and I'm old. I've seen this stuff come and go repeatedly. This is not the first time this African thing's been trending. It's gonna come and go as it always does. But it's just a deep thing. I don't even feel like getting into the arguments of this. Like I said, you got the OOA and the RSOH. That's the out of Africa theory and a recent single origin hypothesis. You can look up that. That is where all this Africa and everything started in Africa stuff came from. And this was started by Caucasians back in the 1800s. This is when that brainwashing stuff began. And it all has to do with America. They don't want people claiming America. So claim Africa. That's why the first person you ever heard say go back to Africa was a white person. It all has to do with that. They don't want you niggas claiming this land that is truly yours. So claim Africa or whatever you want, but don't claim here. And that's what that is. And it's a deep thing. I don't got no problem with nobody that want to be a part of that. But I got respect for the life and the ancestors that died here. The copper color people, that's my complexion because that's my description. I respect them too much. A lot of them died. A lot of y'all don't know no real history. Y'all get lost in the goofy history. A lot of them died fighting for this place. And y'all walk on these lands talking about Africa. Just disrespecting the death right beneath your feet. That's your own people. How you walking on your people talking about something? It's just disgusts me. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not concerned with y'all opinions. Because truth be told, the wisdom that I got that y'all can clearly all see that I have, it didn't come from none of y'all. It didn't come from this organization or that religion or none of that. And y'all know that. It came from me separating myself from all of this from a time to grasp. Now, why do I care about your opinion? Your conditioned-brained opinion of what you think you know because you heard this. I break anything down. I speak of showing you it in real time. And y'all just talk. And I played with y'all for 2 years, but I'm not playing anymore. Move along. I don't got time for this. It's truly pathetic. It's like I said, man. Find truth or find whatever you want, but I don't mix and mingle. You like the flip flop? Just flop over there. It's deep. It's almost like a force. Y'all force people to go along with y'all foolishness. Be a fool. I don't want to be a part of it. You flip flop from this channel to that channel, and you an African follower when you over there and you this over here and you not learning nothing, and just stay over there. I really don't want nothing to do with that. I ain't got time for the competing spirits and all this weirdo stuff that y'all truly making wisdom. I don't have time for that. I don't care about nationalities. It's like I said, life is the duality. What's important is this lands. Because that's where you at. And that's where you being oppressed at. And that's the only place you know. And you keep ignoring that. Talking about other things that don't got nothing to do with you. Ain't nobody getting on no boats going back to Africa. And the white men know. They can't do nothing with that Africa shit. So let them talk that shit. And y'all fall right into things. And it breaks my heart. I don't want nothing to do with low spirits that reach for things that's... I've clearly made all my points. Believe what you want and get lost in the trends in this thing and that thing if you want. But just do that over there. I don't want nothing to do with that. I got 8,000, almost 9,000 subscribers. Now, out of those 9,000 subscribers, those that don't give and receive and really pulling for balance and to grasp, move along. Out of the 9,000, if all I got is 500, 1,000, that give and receive and truly trying to pull for balance and be of some use in this life, to the life, I'd rather just have that. I don't need 9,000 useless, idle motherfuckers just following me. And this is y'all problem in life. Y'all like an abundance. Y'all don't realize it ain't good to have just idle things lying around. Out of the 9,000 people I got, a lot of y'all just here. And that ain't good for me. It really ain't no point besides just saying, look, I got mad people following me. But how many with you truly? How many support you? How many understand give and receive and balance and back and forth? So that's the point. And a lot of the other teachers are the same way. If they look through their subscription and truly break down who really supports me, you better off just dealing with them. It's a deep thing. I'm trying to get land and do something great that y'all don't grasp in life. That's truly a great thing that's needed. So I don't need the extras to just be sitting around. Whoever is true with this thing, this gift I'm giving y'all, that's all I'm here for. Simple. Everybody else can do as they choose. That's not my concerns. I'm not here to dictate what you do. I'm just here to dictate my environment. Get that foolishness out of here. I've been here long enough playing with y'all. So I know some people don't know. All they know is what they heard. So I give you a chance to hear. And if you still want to play games, play it with yourself. Don't bring that over here, commenting on my channel, foolish things. I don't got time for it. So I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. I take this wisdom and all of this scholarship and all this stuff serious. And if you don't, there's many channels you can go along and following up whatever you choose. That ain't got nothing to do with truth, but that's on you. As for me, I'm the wise servant. I want to keep everything on a straight and narrow, you dig? Because that's how I truly got this wisdom. From separating myself from all the conditioning and influence foolishness that just floating around from time to time. But find balance, find peace. It's the wise servant.